Have you ever stopped to imagine what our world would be like if the megalodon, the largest shark that ever lived, was still swimming in the oceans? This prehistoric monster, which lived between 23 and 3.6 million years ago, could reach more than 60 feet in length, practically the size of a school bus. A giant of the seas whose teeth could reach 7 inches, capable of slicing through the bones of large whales. Today, we are going to explore this fascinating hypothesis together. What would be the impact if this colossal creature still existed? And more, how would it influence marine life, ocean ecosystems, human industry, and even our culture? Get ready for a deep dive into the world of the megalodon. First of all, it's important to understand the role the megalodon played in the oceans. As a super predator, it was at the top of the marine food chain, controlling populations of large mammals like whales, seals, and other sharks. This control is vital for ecosystem balance. When a predator disappears, its prey can multiply excessively, causing imbalances. This is the famous ecological cascade effect. For example, a study published in the journal Marine Ecology Progress Series showed how removing large predators can lead to the collapse of entire ecosystems. Now imagine how the absence of the megalodon millions of years ago changed the natural balance of the oceans. But what if it still existed? How would it change the oceans we know today? First, beaches around the world would probably have strict restrictions for water sports. Swimming in certain areas could become dangerous, which would directly affect tourism and leisure for millions of people. Think about famous beaches in Hawaii, Australia, or Brazil. Now imagine these areas being constantly monitored for possible sightings of a giant shark. This radical change would have huge economic and cultural impacts. Besides tourism, maritime industries would also be heavily impacted. Commercial fishing would have to adapt, possibly reducing operations to avoid encounters with this predator. Commercial ships crossing the oceans with valuable cargo would need to be equipped with advanced monitoring technologies to detect the presence of the megalodon and ensure crew safety. This could increase operational costs and alter navigation routes. Still, despite its imposing size, scientifically it's very unlikely that the megalodon survived to the present day. The main reason is the lack of concrete evidence. Even in remote areas, the oceans are constantly monitored by satellites, sonar, and submersible vehicles that explore even the deepest regions. An animal the size of the megalodon would leave traces, carcasses of attacked prey, genetic footprints in the environment, appearances on underwater cameras. None of these signs have been detected. The extinction of the megalodon millions of years ago is widely accepted by the scientific community. However, this doesn't diminish our fascination with this creature. The megalodon has become an icon in popular culture, appearing in movies, series, books, and documentaries. This image of a huge, untamable beast sparks fear and admiration, fueling popular imagination. What can we learn from this? That the ocean is a mysterious environment full of secrets yet to be fully uncovered. In 2023, for example, explorers discovered new species thousands of meters deep, in environments where sunlight never reaches. These discoveries show that the seas still hold incredible surprises. If the megalodon were alive, it would probably inhabit these deep regions where human access is limited. However, even in these areas, it's hard to imagine a viable population could exist without leaving clear traces. The food chain would need to sustain this super predator, requiring a huge amount of prey in such a specific environment. Thinking about the ecological impact, the presence of the megalodon would alter marine population structures. Top predators directly influence prey behavior, forcing them to avoid certain areas and limiting overpopulation. With a living megalodon, fish schools might migrate to other regions, and species dynamics could be completely different from what we know today. These effects have been studied by ecologists who analyze how predator reintroduction can restore natural environments, such as the case of wolves in Yellowstone National Park. Beyond science, the existence of the megalodon would bring ethical and environmental challenges for us humans. How to balance protecting such an impressive species with the safety of people who depend on the oceans to live and work. The megalodon could become a symbol of marine conservation, just like the great white shark is today. This debate involves complex issues of biodiversity preservation and sustainable resource use. Another interesting aspect is how technology could help coexistence with such an imposing predator. Monitoring equipment, aquatic drones, and early warning systems could be developed to ensure humans and megalodons could coexist safely. Science and technology together would give this hypothetical ecosystem a chance to function without excessive risks. Speaking of technology, the advancement of ocean exploration methods has been impressive. Autonomous vehicles, submersible robots, and high-resolution satellites allow increasingly detailed mapping of the seafloor. With these resources, modern science seeks to understand ocean functioning and protect endangered species. Studying the past, including extinct species like the megalodon, is fundamental to understanding the present and planning the future. Also, the megalodon makes us reflect on time and evolution. Earth has gone through several geological eras, with mass extinctions and life rebirths. The existence and disappearance of the megalodon are part of this dynamic history. Thinking about it reminds us that nature is constantly transforming, and life is capable of adapting and changing radically. Finally, back to you, the viewer. Have you imagined what it would feel like to see a megalodon swimming next to you? Probably a mix of fear, fascination, and respect for the power of nature. This hypothesis, although unlikely, inspires us to value and protect the oceans, which are sources of life and mystery. So, what do you think? Could the megalodon really be hiding in the depths, or is it just a prehistoric legend? Leave your opinion in the comments. We really want to know what you think. If you enjoyed this dive into the world of giant marine creatures, please leave a like to help the channel, subscribe so you don't miss any new videos, and share with friends who love science and curiosities. Don't forget to hit the bell to receive all notifications. Thanks for diving with us into this ocean of knowledge. See you in the next video.